Hey everyone, Point Line Steve Trimble here again, and today I'm posting a guide or how-to of how to play Spectacle Spite. I got a lot of requests about a lot of random things about how the army plays and what you do against specific armies. So I made this little PowerPoint and visual representation as a little guide and how to play this generically. I have a specific examples that'll be coming up because I made about 4 TTS games to give you specific examples and what to do in a game versus some specific armies. But yeah, let's begin. So step 1, we're gonna know the role of the army. First bullet point is, are you going first or second? This is very, very important because how Spectacle Spite plays, it's a very, very high controlling primary denial army. So thus, if you're going second, it's much easier to do that. You can just stop your opponent's primary, score your end primary, boom. So when going first versus going second, you got to know what you're going to be doing. When you're going second, you can play a lot more reserved. You can play a lot more back, just send out a couple units here and there, kill their very important scoring units, boom. When going first, you have to play slightly more aggressively. You have to preemptively be stopping your opponent, and if you're going first, you more likely have to try and deny their actual scoring pieces instead of just their primaries. You need to go around, kill their cultists and their little pathfinders and stuff, going around stopping that type of thing. That's a first example. Second one is the deployment in the map. This is very self-explanatory, but I think this is a lot more important on this army than other armies. So on very specific deployments and maps, you can do a lot more cooler things than you can on other maps. Like for instance, on like GW2 and GW1, for instance, you can have a giant squad of witches in the middle ruin deployed there, which lets them set up a challenge met, which is the charge into your opponent's movement phase strat. So that's a very important thing to know, what cool instances you can do. And you also need to know where you can deploy very aggressively, I should say. Here's a little venom. That's a part of the point. Where you can deploy your venoms aggressively up, where they're not also getting shot if you go second. And then also the future staging points. Like for instance, on GW3, they have that giant 12x6 rune at the bottom of the maps. Oh, I have a GW3 example coming up, so I can show you. For example, that's a really good place you can hypothetically go. Or in the GW3, they have the giant L in your deployment zone. Same with GW1, where in GW1 you can hide most of your army. So those are the important things you got to know. All right, step number 3 is, how good is your opponent at the primary game? If your opponent is bad at primary, like we'll take Death Guard. Death Guard is not very good at primary. Death Guard is just a bunch of OC. They rely on having OC3 10-inch moving vehicles, and that's the only way they're really doing primary. If an OC3 vehicle is like good at like holding a primary against our opponent, they're fine at primary. But if it's not, they're absolutely terrible at it, for instance. So that's one example. Or they're really strong. Like for example, obviously like the 200 Guardsons list. That's a 200 models that are OC 2 to 4. They're obviously amazing at primary. So thus, you got to understand going in how good is your opponent at the primary game, because in my opinion, this is one of the best primary denial armies in the game. So if you know how many resources you have to allocate to stopping their primary, and on the opposite, how much you have to invest in keeping your primary up, is very good to do in the deployment scene. And step number 4 is, how fast is the opponent? This, on average, is the fastest army in the game. You have witches that go 22 inches out of a raider. Your Reavers auto advance 26. Hellions go 14 to 16 base, and they can charge. These are just the base movements. Witches go between out of a venom up to 16 inches, reroll advance, reroll charges. Like there's some armies that have specific models that can be faster, but as an army wide, this is pretty much the fastest army in the game, especially Spectacle Spite. So if your opponent is thus not a very fast army, so I'll use Admech for example. Admech's like not slow, but they're not fast at all. There's a bunch of dudes that move 10 inches. The Ruststalkers move 8. A bunch of dudes that move 8. Some of them can advance charge. It's like a slightly above medium speed army. So you can use that to your benefit. You know that you're knowing the speed of these like medium speed armies, you can preemptively get out your measuring tape and know, okay, a Skitarian infiltrator moves 8 inches, can advance a charge. So the most you can go is 14 inches and then charge me. So if I'm 27 inches away, hypothetically, you physically can't charge me at all. But at the same time, if you're 27 inches away, you're about a 5-inch charge away from a raider. So you're able to position your models in a way where they're immune to your opponent, but they're also in range of you. So they are now in a very precarious situation where they can't really move up because they're in range of you, but you're also completely safe. But on the other end, if they're a very fast army like Eldar, you have to know how to keep your models protected. Since your army is essentially the least durable army in the game. Like your most durable unit is a Space Marine Scout. It's not counting a Raider. Like a Reaver is the durability of Space Marine Scout. D4 for save 2 wounds. You can just lose your army in 1/10 of a second. You just get tabled in 1 second. So it's very so like against Eldar, for instance, you're like, okay, a Warp Spider moves up to 24 to 27 inches, and if I'm in this wall, you can't get behind the wall. So right, this wall is 26 inches away. You can't get to me. Hypothetically, something like that. Or like the Swooping Hawks, they can move 17 inches. So it's very important. Your game plan changes very differently depending on your opponent. The gist is like, if they're very fast, you got to play more reserved and conservative. If they're not as fast, you're still going to be playing conservative and reserved a little bit, but you can be much more aggressively positioned. And how weak are they to being jailed? What's take an army like a Land Raider army? An army of Land Raiders, Votann. Votan's a good example. They actually play Land Raiders. This is an army where they just have vehicles that move 8 to 10 inches. They're like 8 inches long, like 6 inches wide. They're very susceptible to just having models put in front of them, and they're screwed. Admech is another army that's actually kind of weak to being jailed. They have the little flappy boys, but the rest of the army are 10 squad 40 milliliter infantry that can't walk through anyone and don't move too fast. Those are example armies that do not like having Reavers put in front of them. Other armies. So what I was saying is you're very incentivized to yeet your Reavers out turn 1 and 2 to just stop them from doing anything. On the other hand, if it's something like Eldar, you can't jail them at all. So you're not really going to be doing that. And you want to keep your jail pieces, which are Reavers, Hellions, and big squads of Witches. Those are the things that can jail very easily. Because another part of your jail plan is you're just threatening to charge them on their own turn. So even if you're just throwing them out to just move block them, they're disincentivized to even move. It's like a lose-lose situation for them. But if they're an army that can't be jailed very well, like Eldar, you need to save those very important pieces and deploy them, not aggressively where they're trying to jail turn 1. And then finally is shooting versus melee opponent. This is one of the more important ones because this is a very, very, very anti-melee army. Like, holy crap. Like, specifically, most melee comes with infantry. Obviously, there's some niches, like Space Wolves have some amount of mounted. That's about it for melee. That's not really... Like, I'm talking about like a melee army. An army that's like mostly melee things. Like, you can have some monsters and stuff. Like Demons. Demons is another one that's not infantry-based melee. It's mostly, big guys, big monsters. But like, shooting versus melee opponents. So when you're playing against melee... it's another depending on the melee army, because you are the fastest melee army, not even close. Like Eldar, it can be faster, but they're not a melee army. So like most melee armies are walking 6 inches and are lucky they can D6 advance and charge, like orcs. That's the whole army of orcs. Obviously, you have some niches, some flying units, like jetpacks, like Storm Boys, or like say Marines. They have some amount of things like Sanguinary Guard and stuff like that. A very niche amount of things that move faster, but most melee armies move about 6 to 8 inches and maybe have access to advanced charge. It's very easy to, like I told you earlier, measure tape them. Just move like boom, you're 20 inches away, you can't charge me, we're good, but you're in range to be charged by me. Because I don't know if you guys like if it's I don't know if it's like obvious, but like a Succubus or Lilith out of a Raider can disembark 6. Can move 10. And if it's Succubus, it can reroll advances, reroll charges. So that is a 22-inch normal move. That's normal, you're advancing, but you can still charge afterwards. So your threat range out of a raider is up to like 35, 34 inches, which is nothing can compare. But on the other hand, a shooting army, you need obviously to aggressively move upwards on your turn 1 and turn 2. So like against a melee army, you can deploy more backwards because you're able to interact with them early and they can't interact with you. But against shooting armies, you need to more aggressively deploy closer, but not in a way where you'll die turn 1 if they're able to get angles. So that's and you need to find your turn 1 staging points. That's the point. All right, this is like the background, how the army kind of works, deployment type of things. All right, we're going to get to an example I set up. All right, so we're into an example. This is a deployment, a hypothetical deployment playing against Starry Hunter Court. So what the important things for me in this army is hypothetically it's the infiltrators, but realistically he can't infiltrate them in a position where they can really do much turn 1. That risks them all dying because my army can kill infiltrators with no effort. Like Lilith, even Reavers do crap ton of damage to the 5-man Hellions, the Morgana's Curse Lady, the 2 damage Succubus, all these will just rip through Chitauri models. So he has to be in an okay infiltrating spot where he can do stuff, but not anything where he's going to go after me turn 1. So like they're up here to like do stuff turn 1, hold the middle, over here holding their little expansion, ready to do stuff turn 2 and 3, and the rest of his army's hanging back. Like he's got a little Slappy Boys ready to come up in the air, end of my turn and such, and Ruststalker's ready to do Ruststalker things. So what the important things I have to know when deploying against his army is where are his Iron Striders and what are the angles for Iron Striders for turn 1. Those are the most important things. Like for instance, these Iron Striders can come up here, they can advance and shoot, so this is their max distance. The max distance puts, and so what's important for why I'm thinking about that, because what's important for me in this matchup is Reaver Jail. This army doesn't like being jailed. It's not very good at it. It doesn't like being jailed. So I need to have positions where Reavers can do stuff turn 1 without also getting blown off the table at the same time. Because obviously you can deploy them where they're never being shot turn 1, like back here, but you're not doing anything turn 1 up to that far back. And same goes with Hellions. So this spot right here, for instance, is very strong because let me turn off the little thingies. Like if you look over here, the only spot that is shootable across court is this way. And I had to deploy farther back, but that means even if he rolls a 6 or whatever, you can't see either of my squads back here. So they're completely safe no matter what turn 1, because there's no way to get over here turn 1. And the other angle is over here. So you just, Venoms can deploy like here, but obviously you can be shot from there. So it's just a little farther back. And luckily, since everything already moves 14 or more, getting 14 lets you still go up here and then less not actually be shot. There's no angle to shoot up here. So those are the important deployment things. So as you can see, I'm aggressively deployed, but in a way where I can't be interacted with. I have some back witches. And also, this is my new list, which is the 60 witch version, by the way. That's why it's 2 raiders. So I have these back witches ready to screen out because the actual most important thing in his army I have to deal with is these Praxi, these little jumpy boys. They have firefight, that doesn't matter. The important part is they all have 5 shots of strength 3, probably hitting on 3s, maybe reroll hits. They'll come down and just kill anything in my army. And there's 25 of them. So it's very important that they don't get behind my army. So these witches and these witches over here are all deployed kind of aggressively so they can do secondaries turn 1. Like for instance here, I can go 10 inches turn 1, so 10 gets me up here. That means I can do things like area denial, linchpin, or whatever. I don't need to advance. I can just walk 10 inches. But also it lets me, potentially charge things I may need to. But also these things can just run backwards to completely screen out his little floppy boys. I have this Venom here. It had to deploy far enough back because another cross-court angle I didn't really talk about was hypothetically chickens coming up here and seeing down this way. It's a very sleep angle. You only get 1 chicken, really. But like seeing like this, which means he has to be here. With a 14-inch movement, he can go over here. He's relatively safe. I would advance him to get closer, hypothetically, if I wanted to go this way instead of maybe pivoting to go this way. That's a little staged witch squad that is only shootable by something over here. And if he is Belstar literally right here, they're dead. I can kill them with no effort. Like Reavers will kill them. Hellions, Witches kill them. They're only T7, so I don't think my army can kill them with little effort. But now I have my staging, my early game staging correct. I have, like I said, this is also, I have this very important Raider, because I like to call this rune the Raider rune. Because a Raider can hide here, be essentially unshootable by anything in the game. The only time you can shoot them if you're past my rune, which is not really going to happen. And a basic normal move out of the Raider is this distance. This is the normal move, or if you don't have +2 movement. So at the worst case scenario, this is your basic move out of a Raider before you advance, which just means he is completely at that Raider's mercy to not get wrecked, because this army has struggles very hard to deal with challenge met. They don't really have much way to deal with it except by just not moving, which is perfect for me, because this one benefit of challenge met is your opponent always has to interact with it, even if you don't even plan on spending 2 CP. They can't just risk losing the game on the spot. So this Raider gets to chill here all game. Hellions can also, I deployed him here, can just deploy here, ready to do stuff turn 1. Or if he gets close enough with a 16-inch move, this is their baseline movement. So if he comes out and does a secondary turn 1, I can send one of my Reaver squads, which is great. It would probably be this one, come up here. You know, this 26 movement. They could even just normal move and charge, which is not something you do on turn 1 very often. But hypothetically, they can go 26 inches. Boop, 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 boop. Which puts him essentially all the way up there, which locks his whole corridor down. Means he can't move through it. Which is just perfect for me. He can't do anything. As long as he can move through over here. But if he's all the way over here, he's not doing anything. He's not interacting with anything, and he's just setting himself up to die next turn. Like this blocks off like these chickens walking this way, blocks off other units going this way. They did some mortals. They might shoot and kill something. Blah, 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 blah. This is just hypothetical. I would honestly probably just charge if you brought them up here, for instance. But it also, you know, then these guys just get to come up here on like my turn 1 at this spot here. They're unshootable from anything in the game that's not literally right there, like I said. And then that puts him in his DZ for turn 1 for another, you know, jailing, while also keeping all my witches, all my venoms, all my raiders unmolested. So that's just like an example of how you deploy versus that type of army. All right, we're gonna go on to the next step. All right, step 2, how to play the first couple turns. All right, the first point is this army is a control army. It's not just a turbo aggressive army. It's not just a defensive army. It does both. Due to being the fastest army in the game and having some of the best primary in the game, you get to control the flow of the game almost the whole time. And if you go second, you control it the whole game. It's all up to you. It's all in your ballpark, in your basketball hoop, whatever, to control how the game paces. Because like a lot of points I made in the first slide, since you're so much faster than everyone, you have so much better OC than everyone, you get to dictate how primary works, and thus at the same time how secondaries work too, because you're very easy of just stopping your opponent's secondaries or stopping them from stopping yours, for instance. They'll go into point number 2, using witches and reavers to dominate primary. Reavers are move 26, they're OC 2. I've stolen my opponent's home field in turn 2 countless times, because even if you have 5 models like an intercessor squad, it doesn't beat 6 reavers. And a lot of times they have to keep some models off the objective to screen more. They don't just like get Hellion or whatever, thus needing only like 4 reavers to get an objective. Which is the same thing. They're obviously just a little bit slower. They're still OC 2. They and both this interacts with challenge met, because you can use it to like give yourself primary, force your opponent to not stop your primary you was already getting, because the risk just being charged. The unit they wanted to kill can't be shot anymore. You're gonna kill something for free, just fucks up their whole day. And then since I right now have 10 squads of witches, hypothetically up to 11 or 12 depending on how much venom you take, I have 4 venoms, 2 raiders, and that gives me 10 squads. So like I say, Succubus squad, for instance, like I said, can move easily, like on average 20, I would say like on average like 19 to 20 inches at a raider, up to 22. And then that is OC 21. That's just gonna stop anything in the game that isn't like, you know, the niche things of all the guards, like I said earlier. These are like the important aspects of the game. Is stopping primary turn 2, 3, and 4 is how you're gonna win games. Just gonna boom, you're gonna stop their primary. The big point I'll say, like, this army doesn't, it can score amazingly, but I don't purposely score amazing because it's not teams. You only have to win by 1 in singles. Is I am aggressively discarding secondaries to get CP. Unless I'm, using succubuses to kill characters. One big boon is succubuses. To keep up my CP economy, to keep up the challenge met fight on death abilities at all times. So yeah, like I said, witches, reavers, steal those primary points. And then point 3 is very similar to point 2, but different. Don't be afraid of Suicide Lilith. Lilith is your named character. It's your important lady. But since she is so fast, she does so much damage, especially for infantry squad. And she takes up so much space on the board. She's very good at doing step 2, stopping primary, stopping your opponent's good units, stopping your opponent from moving. I'll make an example. Against, when I played Admic at round 7, I think. It was round 7 or 6 at Challengers, Worlds. I jailed him into oblivion. Turn 1, I sent a Reaver squad and a Hellion squad. And killed his infiltrators. Turn 2, actual infiltrating units, not just infiltrators. I guess they're just infiltrators. But turn 2, I sent out more Reavers. And I sent out a little squad. And then turn 3, I sent out another succubus squad. And this was me with I would say my worst list with all the scourges, which are fucking useless in that game. Holy crap, hitting on 5s is not good. But I used these units like Lilith and such to just stop him from leaving and thus controlling the primary, because he never left his DZ until turn 4. Even knowing I was going to lose my important hammer unit, quote unquote. But it also sets up hypothetical things like challengement. Again, I'm going to keep harping challengement. It's the most important thing in this attachment. That isn't just the attachment rule. It forces him to deal with something and not deal with the rest of my army holding all the primaries and such. And then point 4 is, I kind of said it, but set up win-win conditions with challengement. What's we'll make an example. For instance, we have Lilith hanging out in an L. The whole objective is within 9 of the L. That means, and you have something on the objective, holding the primary, your Venom or something just hypothetically. You're going to get those points. You're playing the most weakest army in the game. You're playing the weakest army in the game. They should be able to easily kill you. And this is an army that's not a shooting army. They need to put something on the objective. It's not just shooting you. So either they put something on the objective and they get charged by Lilith and die. You gain, you hypothetically probably still gain the primary. You spent 2 CP. That's fine. Or the other hand, they didn't stop you. They didn't want to die to Lilith. You didn't have to use challenge met. And you gain the primary anyways. This is a win-win condition. Either way, you won, you got your primary, or you killed the opponent. It's great. Both these are awesome for you. It's a lose-lose for them, win-win for you. Another instance is Reaver jail. You sent your Reavers turn 1 to jail a unit. A big tank, or it's usually a lot of units because it's fucking 6 models that go 2 inches away from each other. They take a lot of space. You block a unit. He's now at the position is, if this tank moves, there's no way not to get challenge meted. So he has to just accept challenge met, make his tank farther back in the DZ, away from you, away from your army. Or he just doesn't move. Doesn't get challenge meted, doesn't do anything. That's another win-win for you. Either way, his tank's not doing anything. You set up your Reavers to die. Oh, and the third point, this is another win-win-win situation, is he sets out a melee unit to fight your Reavers. So, at another point 1, you have to send out 2 melee units, because either the Reavers charge the melee unit, kill the one, to lose for him. He charges it, kills your Reavers. Now, obviously your Reavers are dead. You hypothetically maybe spent 2 CP. At that point, you just wouldn't even do it. That's the best part about challengement, is they had to play their whole turn around you using it. You just don't use it. You save your CP, you save for fight on death or something. So now they send out 2 units that are now out in the open. You can just kill them with guns, because you have a lot of random guns that are good at killing infantry. Those units are not doing the dealing with the rest of the army. They had to invest so many resources to deal with your screen, your Reaver screen, which probably also killed a tank on turn 1. They kill tanks on turn 1 very often. Probably a transport, not like a tank. That's what I'm talking about, a win-win condition. Either way, you won every single argument when it came to the Reavers. You got to stop their tank from moving. You had to make the tank move backwards. You had to make them expose specific units. Or you got to charge something they didn't want to charge. I'll make one real life example that I actually experienced that'll make more sense instead of my rambling. Is I played against Eldar. I ran my Reavers in front of his Falcon. If he disembarks Azerman, Azerman gets charged and gets screwed. So he needs to set up his disembark to be able to still shoot, while also setting up Jane Zar to maybe countercharge. So he has to do this like 5-step plan to counteract my challengement. He does it all. I just decide not to charge. Like, whatever, my units can die anyways. So they die, and that leaves Jane Zar out in the open. I would say one of the most important units in the matchups. So what I get to do is just hard deep. I rolled +1 BS, so I was much more incentivized to do this on the next turn. But I just hard deep strike my Hellions. It was BS and toughness, which is notoriously not the greatest ones, but they can be. I rolled +1 BS and toughness. I just hard deep strike my Hellions. I didn't rapid ingress them. Blew Jane Zar squad away, and then he had 10 T5 models they had to deal with near his army while the rest of the army is hanging around, and he couldn't even kill them all. So that was another lose-lose situation. He had to sacrifice accidentally one of his Portsmouth units to deal with my screen. All right, and then back to screens. Screening is imperative. You will lose on the spot against deep striking or especially teleport gun armies if you don't screen correctly. That's also why these I call them shitter witches, but the little 5-man extra witches you get when you split a venom is they're so good at just running around and stopping deep strikes. But you need to keep that in your mind so much for the first 2 to 4 turns. It's very annoying. If you ever see some of my stream games on TTS, I apologize, but I always have those 9-inch bubbles against deep strike armies because I'll just lose on the spot if I screen incorrectly. But that's obviously always an advice against specific armies, but this one, a teleport gun army can unironically kill your whole army in 1 turn. Like, I'm not even kidding. Or at least all the transports, and leave all the venoms out in the open to like die to bolters. A real life example, I am used to playing a Shadowmark Talon, so I'm used to Centurions not being able to deep strike turn 1. So why they can't do that is because Shadowmark Talon, they can put a unit at the end of turn in reserve, but it goes to Shadow Reserve. And if it's my turn 1, they go in reserve, it starts on their turn 1. You can't come in turn 1 because you don't have the deep strike keyword. You need a deep strike keyword to do that. Deathwatch is different. Deathwatch gives the unit the deep strike keyword when they use their version of the strat. So I played against Deathwatch. They uppy downy their Centurions. And then I went first because I always go for, I think I'm like a 70% go first straight with this army. I'll go second sometimes though. And then we were playing on GW1. I staged a lot of my army in the GW1L. Raiders are fucking ginormous, by the way. They're 8.5 inches wide. And he got to deep strike in his corner all the way there that shot the line through the GW1 and killed a Venom, killed my Raider, killed something else. Lilith died to Overwatch. I lost so much important stuff in turn 1. That wasn't really totally an issue of screening because I had no way of stopping that. But that was also just like the idea of I could have positioned my Raider more where it couldn't be seen from that exact angle. But since I didn't really prepare against the teleport guns as much, and it just blew me out of the water. Against other armies, they won't die as much because they have durability. But yeah, let's show some more examples. All right, here I have a game set up against Shadowmark Talon, and I had them go first. Obviously, like I said, I'm just trying to deploy plans myself, so everything's not gonna be perfect. But here's I haven't gone yet, so here's my deployment. So I deployed my Hellions here. There's no way to be shot unless you're specifically up here, which no one's going to do unless they're dumb, because Hellions don't like. That's also why I love 5-man Hellions, because it's like 75 points and they're fine. They're great turn 1 doers, but they're in position to do stuff turn 1. Like the objective, they're within 16 of the objective. The rune is 16 inches away, so it's like a 5-inch charge. Anything behind the rune. This Venom is already here. This Venom, that's like the Venom hole, I like to call it, which means the only times it can be shot if it's a unit out in the open, ready to die or cross the screen. But unless they have 2 units, they can't kill a Venom plus the witches inside. I love doing that. Put that back. I have some just normal witches ready to do stuff turn 1, like secondary, stop primary, whatever, because they're within walking distance of the middle. So it means they can do something like air denial or establish look at turn 1 without advancing, because I always pick +2 movement on turn 1 unless someone's coming to rush me, and then sometimes I'll pick 2 random buffs. These Reavers are already positioned here. 26 inches puts them within range of a lot of things to do things turn 1. Same thing here. These ones are ready to stage turn 1. Go in the little L. This is also perfect for Reavers because it means if you want to shoot anything behind this L, you have to be here or like over here with like deep strike charges. That's not really real. So if you want to shoot anything behind this L, you're in challenge met range. And then I just have my group of things like a Raider ready to go out here, or potentially just hang out here while this Raider goes there. The Venom's coming out, do things. I like Venom's holding this objective turn 1 because I can do it while being mostly hidden, for instance. And then, yeah, it's just a little crowded deployment, but there you go. He had, let's say he moved up. So he sent I sent his Kyvan Strike squad coming up here. I had him, oh, sorry, I moved this. This is supposed to be like this. I guess I didn't save it correctly. Where it means, where does Combi Lieutenant go? 1 sec. Okay, I fixed it. Sorry. So what this would a fairly realistic scenario is you have a little Combi Lieutenant holding your objective here. He has the little Vector, so vector range, and you have your little doer units hiding here, and then you have Kyvan Strike hiding behind. He has a lone op, so nothing can really shoot him, but everything is within 6 inches. So you're setting up that heroic no matter what. Obviously, Centurions can't do anything turn 1, so really against most people, Centurions are they're good into me, but they die with no effort to me because they have the infantry keyword, so I'll just kill them, especially if it's Morgana's Curse or Lilith or something. So they're ready to come here to either just, with a 4-inch move, you can just walk out, or you can now deep strike up and down, and then the Inceptor's ready to go up and down. We have a little 8th and Sean ready to do 8th and Sean things, and then you just have your little screens back here. That's their turn 1, ready to do stuff. And then I have it set up where we'll show my turn 1. All right, here we have the bubbles I was talking about. This is very important against this army because he's going to jump up and down on turn 1. So what I would do in this instance is I do my Reavers. They jail. This is the 26-inch movement. That means nothing. They both screen out in deep strike. Like, look how much they are screening out this much inches of deep strike, which is perfect because Inceptors are also there. They can up you down. They have their Melta, so they're good at shooting anything over here. Maybe just one-shotting this guy. And then they have the mortal wounds. They mortal wound one of these squads, kill 2 to 3 of the models from either squad. Perfect. So they can easily kill one of these squads for free. These Hellions are 16-inch movement, which means they can now either get into combat, because Link said +2 movement, so they can get into combat. They can do maybe the secondary Drew 2-1, and then potentially set up counter charges or me charging, because obviously he's preparing himself to heroic here, but this is now what I would call the lose-lose situation. So I have stolen his primary. Even if the Combi Lieutenant lives, I've stolen his primary. Because this is Lynchman, I think, right? I don't know. Let's say it's the Scorched Earth, whatever. The other one's Lynchman. So Scorched Earth, I've stolen his primary, no matter what. These Hellions aren't dying. So now he has to try and interact with these Hellions through guns, through shooting. If he tries to shoot me, I can if he tries to move, I can run away or get near him, which sets him up to get challenge meted. And Kyvan Strike will tank a Hellion challenge met, but you'll still lose like between 3 and 6 guys, which is not what you want to do. That's really bad for my shitter screener unit. I have my Venom. So this is the win-win. Either way, either I've stolen his primary and he can't get it back, or he takes free damage on his own turn, or he has to set up units to shoot me with things I don't care about. These are all like wins for me because these are my screens. I expect them to die. They're also slightly screening out too, so helping me out there. I have the Venom in its little Venom hole, like I told you. I've fully screened out my backfield, so these little witches can just hang out here, ready to do things the next turn. And I've set up my L exactly like I told you about. I have my Reaver here, ready to do things turn 2 in 26 inches. Blah, blah, blah. The Venom holding objective right here, which means if you're right there, you can only be shot from like over here, which means the only time they can be shot on this Venom is by Inceptors. So I had to do a play I don't really want to do, which is sending out one of my good witch squad. This is the power weapon squad. Obviously, not Succubus, at least the means he can't put Inceptors here or rapid ingress over here. Like this is the only spot he can go. Obviously, because what's also I didn't talk about, which is why I have to do all this, is he has the rapid ingress turn 1. So I have to aggressively screen on my turn 1, which is what I did. The only place that he can come is over here, which would accomplish nothing, because it's going to kill my screens. Like at best, he comes over here. Even then, it's like, I guess he can come like over here. I could like screen slightly better, but like he comes over here, goes here, kills this with guns, and then the witches come over here, and it's like a 7 or 8 inch charge. But even that happens, it's just one of witch squad that doesn't matter. What is it? I don't remember what it was. I think it would be fight first, probably over here. I didn't like label things correctly because I just put it all down. And then that unit in turn, because then it's his turn too, he's moving up, gets Rapid Ingress by Hellions and absolutely gets deleted, which is absolutely terrible for him to not really do anything. So I'm screening out his turn 1 Rapid Ingress aggressively. That's why everything is so circled out. And I'm also stopping Inceptors for coming into me on his movement phase. This is also like, I don't want this unit to die for free, but it also means Athan Sean, he has to spend the CP on Athan Sean. It's only D6. So this unit will probably kill Athan Sean or come close. So you can't really risk Athan Sean dying for free. So we'd have to spend his CP to run away. He's not Phobos, thankfully, so it's D6. He would go away 5. So I probably wouldn't risk the charge. Oh, it would actually just depend. Because I only have 1 paint token. Let's see, on a 4-up, to have my paint token back? I did not, so I couldn't even charge anyway, so I wouldn't have to do this. Because I had to spend my paint token on my Reaver. But that's good for me, that's fine. So I've screened out everything. I'm ready for turn 2. He can't interact with this bubble, like, at all. Like, Athan Sean can, and then Sean will just get wrecked by a Reaver squad. Like, fucking, that's bad. And even if like they don't one-shot him, like, he's not going to kill 6 of them. He has 7 attacks. Unless he rolls a bunch of 6s and, like, oaths them or something. But that doesn't seem great. But what also I have, this is the Fight First Raider. I kept Lilith's Raider back here because Lilith's Raider with 22 inches interacts with every objective with ease. So she can just AFK here forever, or maybe I can eventually put her there, just chill there. I like keeping her in the Raider because if you take her out to stage, it means she loses 6 inches of movement. 6 inches is a lot. So I got the because I don't know if you noticed, but I have 2 squads of 10 mans. One is the Fight First. I usually keep the Fight First with the 10 man because it's a very annoying to deal with. So the Raiders all the way up here. This is her threat range. That's really bad. That means he has to like completely abandon his home field and like go over here. So that means Centurions are just going to be sitting here, most likely, almost certainly. Oh, never mind. This is yeah, because this is my turn 1. He already went, so he's bringing up one of these units on his turn, and it's most likely going to be the Inceptors. So these Centurions are just going to be here, unless he's so scared of them dying, which is also great for me because I don't have to deal with 6-inch deep striking Inceptors. Like, that's great. I would love him to bring these guys up because wherever he puts them, I can kill them unless it's like all the way back here, and then also like whatever. That's like his only safe spot. I've completely boxed him in, and I can continue to keep boxing him for the rest of the game. Because on his turn, he's not going to kill a lot. He's going to kill these if they're alive. He's going to kill these. And that's about it. Because he can't come in even 6 inches or anywhere over here. It's completely screened out by this Venom and these Witches. Maybe a 30-man. I didn't do that. Yeah, let's see. I already made a mistake. Maybe, let's see. Let's see how bad I did. That would be the only spot you can come. I did. Never mind. I screwed it up. So what I would have to do in this instance. Oh, what I could just do. There you go. I fixed it. We're good. Since I know this unit's not charging anyways, there's no reason not to just do it. I'm expecting them to die no matter what. Like, obviously being there is actually kind of hard to deal with because the only thing you can kill them is charging them because you can't shoot them. But this is fine. This fixes what I was talking about. This is what I'm talking about screening. Like, I almost could have just like lost on the spot because he could have put like nine Centurion Inceptors right there, and I would have like fucking get wrecked. A good thing. Yeah, that's my turn 1. Like I said, prepares me to turn 2 to like collapse onto him, stop him. I'm doing what I'm talking about. I'm hypothetically killing all his little units. I'm setting myself up to kill like his Incursors, his Assault Intercessors, things like that, while also ruining his game plan. And since I win second in this instance, I'm in control of the tempo. I get to pick how primaries are doing. And since this is an army that's really bad at primary, this is one I was talking about. Primary. It's just like a couple tactical marines, and there were OC1 tactical marines, tactical marine in T4 3-up safe. All space marines are like that, are tactical marines to me. So a bunch of tactical marine bodies that get out OC'd by anything in my army. So I'm very good for the rest of the game as long as I don't just die. That's the most important thing in this instance. All right, so that's that instance. We'll go to the next slide. All right, the go turn, pushing out the mid game. So like turn 3 or 4. All right. The go turn is something you hear about a lot in 40k, especially in like melee armies or aggressive shooting armies. Go turn is very kind of self-explanatory, but it's a turn where you're sending all your damage out, you're sending all your units, you're trying to stop him and kill the game and go. All right. First step is kind of negates the title, but sometimes there won't be a go turn. A lot of times, especially when you're going second or you're playing against like low damage or low speed armies, you don't need a go turn. There's not times where you need to just full send and try and kill the opponent. That's fine. You don't need to expect to do that. Many games I'll have by the end a Witch or two still in a Venom and they never interacted the game, which is perfect for me because it means I was fully in control of the game and I did not need to use this full resource to still win. But it also means turn 5 I'm fully complete. But on step 2 though, on the real go turn, expect to throw the whole kitchen sink with some caveats. And by that I mean one or both of your 10-mans are still alive, your Morgana's Curse, Succubus, all your Hellions, all of them are pretty much going out on turn 3 or 4 to kill them and completely just stop them. With that goes on to turn 3, which is you want to control the whole board, all the primary, and cut off all their dedicated primary and secondary doers. So on this point, you want to, if you can, just cripple all their damage. Like something like if you're playing against Sisters, this time you just want to murder Mervyn Vaughn, which is not hard for this army because she's T7 and she's a character. It's very easy to kill, actually. You'll see that in a game I'll post. Touch all their doers, like all their tanks, just touch them. Kill all their dudes, like kill all their scouts, kill all their intercessors, kill all the things that can even do anything on turn 4 and 5. And then like, let's say against like EC, I'm expecting on this turn to kill every infantry model and maybe Demon Prince and all his doers. So he's ending the going into turn 4 or 5 with a Demon Prince or 2, maybe a Noise Marine squad, and that's it. So pretty much cut his ability to do anything from the game. But yeah, that's that, and we'll get to some examples. All right, here I have a World Eaters list. This is I think I just took the list that I played Brian at Worlds, but this is a very generic list of like 20 Berserkers, 2 Forge Fiends, 6 8 bound, 1 Exalted, 1 normal, a Demon Prince, some Spawn, some Jackal stuff. It's a very normal list, and I'm playing my list. So what I did, I had to, because hypothetically this is turn 3 or 4. I have to think what's died. So what in my mind would be dead is all the Reavers, the Hellions, some Shitter Witches, Mr. Kronos, one on my big 10-mans. I just picked my Succubus, but either that or Lilith is dead because they're doing, like I said earlier, of stopping stuff turn 2. And a Witch Squad and a Venom, and then 2 of my Transports. A lot of my stuff is dead, but a lot is still alive. And to him, I would have killed the Raider, the Rhino, because that thing dies very easily. A bunch of Spawn. This is also me underselling. I'm going to say 1 big squad of dudes and some 8-bound. It leaves them with an 8-bound squad, a Berserker squad, a Demon Prince, 20 Jackals, and both his Forge Fiends. And leaves me with my Rapid Ingress Hellions, a squad and a Venom, some squads, a Venom that died and the Lady Disembarked here, because the only thing you can interact with is this. So they would have died, came out here. 1 Witch Squad is walking over here, because hypothetically, the Forge Fiend could only shoot the Venom. He can't split fire and kill both. That would awful hits. It's Venoms on 5s, for God's sakes. You're not split firing. It's lucky if he kills one. My Raider with the squad inside. These are here, like, hypothetically, they killed a unit over here. Like I said, I have to imagine how a game progressed onto turn 4. And like I said, yeah, 2 squads with insides. And yeah, so what this is what the plan would be to do. So in this instance, we are playing Linchpin. We're going into his turn 4. So what I need to be doing is stopping this primary. This primary I could do, but it's not realistic. I need to, and then cutting off his resources, killing this unit, obviously killing both these units, killing those units, and touching this and touching this. So that leaves him that would hypothetically, if my plan goes awry, obviously no, he has 5 deaths, so I'm losing all I units for free, which is fine. A Demon Prince, maybe these Jackals, and a Forge Fiend, and a Touch Forge Fiend, which can do nothing because can't fall back and shoot. It's got blast weapons, so it's doing nothing. So that would be the plan this turn. Keeping the denial, like, so this is me going first, so I'm not like ultimate primary cuck. If this is me going second, this would be like no effort. So we'll just get on to what I showed what would be happening. All right. Oh, and sorry, drugs, I rolled weapon skill and toughness. So I'm +1 weapon skill and plus toughness. Toughness is okay. It's actually very good against fight on death, for instance. And the weapon skill is just generically good. Here, I moved both my witches out. I moved this squad first, and this would have been the last unit to move. So he just has to overwatch this because 5 witches automatically steals the primary from 3 jackals plus a fortrine. So he has to try and kill it. Otherwise, he's going to kill nothing. Because then I would just leave my succubus. This did its job, and then she'd come out again on the next turn. It's fine. So he overwatches them. He kills 2. I bring this Hellion squad here to deal with this and sets up some challenge mets for the next turn because if he goes onto these objectives. So hypothetically, my best play is I roll medium and then I can leave like a Hellion going like over here. Let's see, that is 8 inches. So like I just have to end up closer. So with any amount of charge, I can end up like somewhere around here, which means I have blocked a lot of this area away from being charged to challenge mets. So these ones coming over here to charge. I have brought this Venom squad and rushed them out over here. This is the Morgana's Curse squad. Charge here, hang out with these Hellions. Either of these Hellions, depends how well these Hellions do in shooting. Might kill a guy or 2 because they're just 3-up saves and I wound on 3s with twin linked. And these guys can either double charge or single charge what they need. And this witch, even if he fails to charge, they can swap backside the Venom, so they're useful for turn 5. And then I would send Lilith out to come here. Lilith is going to absolutely one-shot this squad with no effort. Every special weapon is AP4 in Lilith. Like, this squad kills 20 berserkers, if you're wondering. I will lose probably most of the squad, if not all the squad left. It leaves Karn alone, most likely, unless he doesn't even roll 1. And then he's getting either recharged by Lilith or recharged by those Hellions I was talking about. He can't really do anything. I have this Raider here holding this primary, knowing it will easily die, which is fine. It means he has to come deal with it. So either this guy or the Fortrine, and then and these coming to charge this. So I would kill all the jackals. I would touch Mr. Fortrine. Mr. Fortrine cannot kill 5 witches plus a succubus in combat. They have a 4-up save. Really bad. And they're T4 now, so I think these are only strength 6. I don't know on that one. They're not strength 8. And then these ladies holding my backfield. And then I have this Venom not do anything this turn. It's going to shoot its gun and kill nothing. But this is another squad inside the Venom. The little witches. And then hypothetically, you have squad over here too, because unless things go really bad. So this squad is ready to, you know, stop his primary, potentially, on the last turn. With other things, the Hellions, because he has a very little way of killing all the Hellions. They also have reactive moves and challenge mets and such. So it sets me up perfectly for the last turn. Like I said, I've done my go turn. I'm going to kill, let's see, this is going to be dead. I'm going to be in combat over here. These are going to be dead. These are going to be dead. Here, I'm going to actually quickly roll out the little thing so we can have an actual estimation of how well everything goes. Also, he does have a heroic threatening, so it's going to be hard for him because I'm going to land over here and over here, but we'll see. I'm going to roll this out real quick. All right, so I got a 4-inch charge, by the way, so you're not confused. All right, so that would be their charge. One which can't fight. And actually, if I think about it, the heroic is actually, no matter what, bad for him. At best, he rolls really high, can land. If he rolls really high, he has to come this way. But if he rolls really high, he comes over here and then can pile into this. But we'll see. We'll see what his heroic is. A 9. So he can't go that way, which is good for him. So he ends over there. His plan is actually, it's perfect. See, this is like a bad situation for me, but I have to do this. It's fine. If I lose my Raider, it doesn't matter. Like, he can't get objective. So I'm going to roll out the Lilith attacks. This is +1 AP and +1 weapon skill. And then +1, or yeah, it's +1 weapon skill, +2 AP, lethal hits. That's their buffs. Fighting a squad of dudes. I'm going to roll that out real quick. All right, to start, Lilith has already killed 9 of them. I rolled 4 6s. It's AP4. They don't get a save. They die. So the unit's just dead. Let's do their fight on death. I'm not going to roll the rest because it's fucking a billion attacks at AP4. So we're going to do the fight on death real quick. Here's the big weapons. Either of them fight on death. And then here's the small weapons. And then you get that many fight on deaths. Okay, I'm going to roll that real quick. All right, it kills 8. So then we have Karn after that, potentially. So the also toughness came a little bit into help here because it's D4. And they're only strength 4 when I charge them. So Karn, let's see if he fights on death. No. Does he come back to life, though? No. This is very unlucky. Both lucky and unlucky. So this is the best situation for me. So what's going to happen, though, is either I can keep 2 of my witches alive. So what I'm either doing is either keeping a witch alive that's in combat with this guy, keeping him in combat so he has to fight the here, I'll put this back. He has to fight the witches and thus not deal with the raider at all. But I can make him just kill the raider. He can't get it onto the point, but I think is the best for me. Because now I have this Lilith unit still alive that he has to deal with. Obviously, it's a fortune they could shoot them, which is fine by me. Or he has these little jackals and they'll kill jackals. So I would just pull out of combat. I would stay there. I'd let him deal with the raider. He would kill the raider. Obviously, I'm not even going to roll that. It's just going to die. He has dead wounds, which is fine. This raider, he's just going to stay here. We're at a good spot for me. Lilith survived. It's not really that bad. Like, it's just they have strength 4 chain swords. They're really not good when you charge them. 4 attack, strength 4 is really bad. And then over here, all this crap would die. Like, that's no effort. That's no effort. And it leaves me at this position by the end of the turn, going into his turn 4. I have killed his last squad of berserkers. Demon Prince came out, killed something on my turn, which is not great for me. And then I have left him essentially with 1 fortune and a jackal squad on his home field, which is in range to be stolen by my next turn. These are now like over here, something like that. Now, Mr. Demon Prince literally can't do much because he's in range of Hellions. The best he can do is run backwards to not get racked and move challenge meted. And that's bad for him. And then he at bet like, and also what's good about this Lilith living, which means his fortune can't get rerolls. And it'll be hard to even get rapid fire into killing the Hellions. So he's like in a really bad position here. So it's like, this is what I was talking about, the midfield go turn. And it's not even like a very like high expectation go turn. I really underestimated things. Like realistically, killing this much by turn 3 and 4 is it's not gonna happen. You're gonna kill way more. Yeah, that's slide 3. Let's go on the last slide. All right, step 4, finishing up the game in the final turns. All right, obviously in the instance I just showed you, I wasn't fully tabled, but expect to be fully or almost or fully tabled by the end of turn 5. By almost every game by the end of turn 5, I have a venom or 2, or they focus to kill my venoms, and I have in those venoms 1 to 2 witch squads, and then just some amount of Hellions. I usually have, I would say, between 5 and 10 witches, 1 vehicle if I'm lucky, and like between 7 Hellions altogether. That's usually like what I have in a game. So I'm pretty much dead. Point number 2 is saving a venom squad for turn 4 to sprint across the board will win you games. This is what I was just showing you earlier of that 1 venom which did nothing with the squad still inside of it. That unit is now able to just go 13 plus d6 rerollable charge to do something in turn 5. A challenge mat still has major value when you have little left. I'll get into points like that when we give it back to the point. And then you want to focus on stopping their secondaries and finishing out in control. Like hypothetical, let's make an instance that I had at round 1 of Worlds. I played against Triple Spoiler. He went first, killed most of my army. Turn 1 was great. It was awesome. That was fun. And then by turn 5, spoilers can't fall back and shoot. Their melee's terrible. It's 4 attacks sitting on 4s. So I'm like, okay, if these scourges, I had 3 or 4 left, they can actually just go charge that spoiler. He can't overwatch. It's a big Titanic ball. They can charge him. He can't do anything. He can't move. This is my turn 4 going into his turn 5. They can't move. They can just shoot the scourges and chill. So that's what I did that night. And he had a despoiler and like 2 beasts in Urgle. So going into his turn 5, because I charged him, they didn't kill him because he had some 4s, and I had like 3 models left. He killed like 1 guy. So obviously they died for the cause, but that's great. So going into his turn 5, all he had was 2 beasts in Urgle and a big despoiler, which was useless. So let me stop his secondaries, finishing the game in control. So let's get back to the game. I didn't make a 4th estimate for this game because I thought this one would be useful also. What I'm talking about is why challenge met, even obviously here I have a little bit more, but challenge met, let's say like hypothetically everything went really good for me and I ended up like even on the objective. See, we're in hypothetical land, but let's just say this happened. These Hellions fought here. They killed. They would have came back slightly. Blah, 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 blah. Which is over here, ready to do stuff on turn 5. I have 2 squads ready to do stuff turn 5. So what I mean is my challenge met still has a value while nothing is left alive. Obviously, I have all my Hellions left alive. Let's just make it even more to my point, is we'll just kill most of my Hellions. I would say he kills like all of them. Like, boom. There you go. We're making this. There you go. This is what I got left. All right, so the point I'm trying to make is my challenge mat still has value, even though it's very obvious. No, it's not obvious. I mean, but like challenge mat's obviously very good. But why it still has value is this area is now completely locked off. Say this is I took my turn 5, did stuff, and his turn 5. This is turn 4. If it was turn 5, these units would be out here. But like say now I have these zones completely locked off. So if he wants to try and stay on these objectives to maybe stop me from getting primary, he's getting charged even by his Lilith. And being charged by Lilith is the worst because he has to interact with the 4-up invul save ladies. They have good primary OC. So if he wants to try and kill these Hellions from stopping them from just murdering his Jackals next turn, he can't. But also on like the witches stay in the Venom type instance I was trying to say for turn 5. Here's a squad. So there, let's say I got +2 movement. Let's say we're in hypothetical land, but +2 movement this turn. So this is their baseline movement out of a Venom. This is before they advance. I would say I'm not doing correctly, but this is before they advance. I would use, at this point you have 1,000 paint tokens. Like after turn 2, you have 200 paint tokens to use. So I have enough paint tokens to advance and charge, reroll charges. So I advance and I use my token to reroll advances. I roll 1, I can reroll it. I got a 3. Going 3 more inches. Now I have these Jackals would have came up closer, hypothetically, something like that. So they would have came blah, 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 over here trying to do secondaries. Probably something like this, like in position where they can just advance onto this thing. So they would definitely want to be 7 inches away. They would be somewhere over here because he needs to get primary, and that's the only unit he can do to get primary. If I had not already killed it earlier, which probably would have. But say it would be something like this. That puts him within charge range very easily. We'll make it more correct. So I moved 3 plus, what the hell did I advance? 3. So I would end up like right here. Something like that. It's like a 3-inch charge. 3-inch rerollable. Let's fail it real quick. I do not. So this is what I was trying to say is now I have this unit that though did not interact with the game on a technical sense, now it's completely stopped him from doing anything. Now his Jackals are being touched. This Demon Prince is dealing with 1 to 2 squads of Hellions and Lilith, not doing what it wants to do. And I have another squad over here, which ironically would probably just like kill the shit out of this guy. And he has this useless Fortune, which cannot do anything against 2 squads. So I finished the game out fully in control of the game. I've stopped him from doing anything, sacrificing my units to do what I need them to do. And yeah, and the one thing people like to harp on, I think, is that this army potentially is very weak. Before you start to actually play it, is like you're right hypothetically, without actually playing this army, that this army can be weak to Overwatch. Your Eldar without the ability to turn off Overwatch worth of shit. There's main points why it's not actually correct if you just play smartly. Like, yes, you don't want to throw a Lilith or a Succubus squad into an Overwatch to die. Like that's bad play. Don't do that. But why Overwatch is not too scary is because you have so many units. Like I said, for instance, right here, I had this 40-point Witch squad doing the same thing as this Witch squad. He has to Overwatch this squad first because it's going to stop him doing it anyways. So he needs to try and kill something. So the squad eats an Overwatch, which is fine because it's 45 points. You know what 45 points is? It's nothing. It's nothing. Especially for a unit that can move up to 16 inches and charge people and has OC 2. So you have so many units to do stuff, or you just have the ability just to stay in your cars. Like a lot of times, like for instance, say you have fought in, like let's say against Eldar, for instance. You fought something here. They set up and put, let's say these are Warp Spiders. They put Warp Spiders right here, ready to Overwatch you, ready to kill you. So what you can do is just, let's say the Venom was closer. I'm trying to show you hypotheticals, but this Venom's closer. He's now in range to be able to advance up here. You can shoot them, blah, 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 kills them, blah, 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 or whatever with some other units. And this unit can just go back inside. It is completely ignored Overwatch while also getting off the board and being safe from shooting. And then your opponent has to deal with a vehicle. It's a very easy to kill vehicle, but it's still a vehicle. T6 Venom is not dying to warp spiders. Don't have to worry about that. And if they overwatch your Venom, be happy because you can move the rest of your army for free. So you have so many units that you can just essentially ignore Overwatch as long as you're not being a silly boy about it. But yeah, those are like the generic points I try to make with some real life examples against 3 specific armies on 3 different deployment maps. Obviously, like if you should also watch my games I played. Like it's just me, my friends, or some other people playing a game, but we're playing at a very high level. So you maybe ignore speech. Maybe if we're just talking as 2 little dudes, we're not saying everything correctly. But those will show you actual real examples how to play the army at a very high level. I'm playing at a very high level in those games too, not just like jerking off and playing a little casual game. I have a game versus Sisters. If you want, I recorded and I'll post in a day or 2. If you want to watch how this attachment plays against a heavy tank, because he was playing Bringers to Flame, so it was like all tanks. It wasn't all tanks. It was like 2 Cascaders and like 4 transports. So a lot of vehicles, and like, how does the melee army with chain swords beat the transport attachment? You can see how if you watch that game. But if you have any specific questions that isn't like this overarching generic thing, besides like the generic how to play guide, please ask in a question and a comment. I pretty much respond to every comment as in-depth as possible as I can. I love talking about this attachment. I love playing it. It's my favorite attachment. This is my favorite rule set they've made this whole edition. Like, I'm a guy who plays the lead infantry. I'm the Custodes guy. This is the opposite Custodes, though I might be the Vetrix Honor Guard soon, so we'll see. Though, you know, if you want to see how to beat Vetrix Honor Guard, this attachment does it, I would say, better than any other army in the game. It's still an uphill battle, but if you're scared of Vetrix Honor Guard in your meta, play Spectacle of Spite. Yeah, if you have any specific questions about a specific detachment, a specific army, specific model, if so, please post it and I will answer it. I'll make one specific tangent. It's people always ask about the unenhancement succubus. And why do I like it? Why is it good? To me, the succubus is overall the most efficient, one of the best models in the whole army. The best model in the army is the Reaver. And I say the Witch is the second. I'm talking about the army in general. Spectacle Sight, not even close. And the Witches are second. But I say Succubus is the most efficient, like top 5 best models in the game. Army. It's the cheapest model in the whole army. It's 50 points. 2, it's got a great leader ability. It's got 2 leader abilities, actually. It's got Give Your Unit Sustained, which is equivalent to +1 to hit. It's amazing on Witches because you also have at-will lethal, so you're sustained lethal +1 EP. It's very efficient. And then her second one is the reroll advances and charges. Amazing. Her melee weapon is just really good. Obviously, strength 3 is not great if you're not fighting infantry, but against vehicles, characters, like monster characters, it punches up because you do lethal and you're lethal sustained, re-rolling everything, and you're just rolling 6s. I had a game where Vashtor piled into Morgana's curse and still took 10 damage. And I didn't even have lethal up. Obviously, I spiked a little bit, but I had a normal game where the normal succubus with grenades, a grenade plus just them, the 90-point witch squad plus her, killed the Demon Prince, and that wasn't even me high rolling. And then the CP thing is really good. It's amazing. It's the best CP gain version in the game because most of them are if this model kills something, I get a CP. It's if this unit is, so you don't have to focus on her killing something. It just does everything. It's efficient. It makes the unit push up. Like for instance, like the biggest point is this plus the 5 Power Sword Witches is 95 points. It's the price of Howling Banshee Squad. So much better. So this is just like the most efficient missile in the game because it's like nothing points wise. And obviously the enhancements are amazing, like 5 first and Morgana's Curse, which is an insane enhancement. Holy shit, I think it's so crazy. Yeah, that's just my little tangent of why I like the normal succubus. Also has 4 wounds, so it always charges people up. She's just really, really good. She like does everything. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching this guide. Like I said, last point, if you have any questions, please ask them. I will answer all of them to my best of my ability. And I guess if you have any like coaching requests, I can help you out. Like I'm just ask me. Yeah, that's it, people. Thanks for watching.